Hi everyone and welcome to Mighty Kiddos. In today's video, I will be sharing with you 7 simple tips to help your little one crawl. If you're interested, stay tuned. And the number 1 tip is tummy time. You want to make sure your baby is on tummy time all the time. You can start this from day 1. What tummy time means essentially is you're just having your baby explore and have some time on their belly. It is extremely helpful to help strengthen the shoulders, the neck, and your arms. We need to have those parts of your baby's body strong. Tip number 2 is encouraging your baby to reach. So if your baby's already sitting and he, either propped on you or on the floor, depending on how coordinated they are, how much balance they have, you can definitely encourage them to reach for toys by plain and simply putting a toy out of reach, slightly out of reach, because if you put it too far away, the baby's not going to be interested. So we want them to reach over and come back. So every time they move forward to reach and then come back, they're working on their trunk strength, so which is perfect, right? We also want to encourage the cross body motion, so perhaps you could put a toy slightly diagonal, and he or she will decide whether to use a left or right hand. The third tip is super important, and it is to teach your child to get into sitting from lying. So you could do that several ways. A lot of the times kids start figuring this out on their own. So you could just let your kid be on the floor, and as you've worked on them sitting, they will learn to just bring their body up like you see here. The one way you could teach your child is and you could do this at every diaper change. You could do this anytime you're changing their clothes, anytime you're having them on the floor. Instead of just sitting them up, what you do is you slightly turn them, right, as if you're going to help them turn, and then you hold the hip down and you bring the hip down towards the ground as they are then bringing and forcing their arm up, as you see here. So this is very important to help them develop the coordination, and the traction is key as they're coming up with their hand and then they're supporting, which is really important. The fourth option that is helpful for your child is helping them be on all 4. Okay? It's really important for them to be on all 4, meaning their hands and knees is important. So as they get stronger, they will start to lift their chest up and on their forearms. And when they feel stronger, they will push down on their hands, and then they will kind of figure it out how to bring their legs up. If they're having problems bringing their legs up, what you could do is just kind of hold them at their hip and bloop, turn it this way, so you could kind of hold them and position them there. At this point, this is very important for you to have them entertained. So you could put a musical toy in front of them. You could help them rock back and forth as they're in this 4-point position. But you really want to engage or encourage this type of position as much as possible. If your child doesn't quite yet have the strength to do it himself, what you could do is put your baby over your thigh, as you see here, have them put themselves up with their arms, but you're still bringing up their chest with support from your leg, and you're also supporting them at the hip. And encourage the high kneel sitting, which helps kids that are having issues bending their legs to be in this 4-point position get more comfortable with having their knees bent. It just helps them get more comfortable with being on their knees. The other thing that's important while we're teaching our kids to crawl is just letting them figure it out organically, which means being on the floor. One thing to keep in mind when you're doing this is you want to increase traction, okay? One of the best ways to do it is just having your baby in a onesie and a diaper. No socks, no shoes, no pants. That way they don't get frustrated that they're slipping all the time that they're trying, and you don't want to make things harder on your child that is just figuring out a new skill. Don't get mad at me for this one, but the other tip I'm going to give you is reduce time in containers. What are containers? Containers are like sit-in walkers. They are the jumpers. They are any little bouncy chair that they're strapped in. Anytime you have your child in any one of those, you are limiting their exposure to practice crawling. However, as a rule of thumb, if you do need to put them in these containers, for safety, because you need stuff to do, you need to go to the bathroom, or you have multiple kids, just keep these rules in mind. Limit it to 10 to 15 minutes, and then also however long you put them on the saucers or on these sit-in containers, you want to make sure you double that time on the floor. So 10 minutes sitting, 20 minutes on the floor, 15 minutes sitting, 30 minutes on the floor, okay? If you're noticing that your child is not making enough progress in spite of all these things that you're doing to help them, or if you're noticing that your child is only moving one side of the body or preferring one side of the body over the other, these are all red flags for you to consider and reach out to your pediatrician or a pediatric physical therapist for an evaluation. Now, I hope you found these tips helpful. If you have any further questions or you need any more clarifications, leave a comment down below or send me a direct message on Instagram. Thank you so much, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you on our next one. Take care.